Welcome back. Settle in. Let your shoulders drop. Tonight, we drift far from here, past the moon, past the red dust of Mars, past the great storms of Jupiter. We are going somewhere quieter, somewhere golden, somewhere ringed in soft light. Tonight, we drift through the rings of Saturn. Breathe in slowly. Let the air fill you, and let it go. There is no rush, no place to be, just a long, slow journey through ice and shadow. Close your eyes if they are not already closed. Imagine the dark beginning to soften. Imagine a faint amber glow on the horizon of your mind. Saturn hangs in the dark like a lantern, pale gold, wrapped in ribbons of pale light. The rings are wider than you can imagine, thin as a whisper, bright as snow. From far away, they look solid, like a smooth disk of glass, but they are not. They are made of countless small things, each one drifting, each one quiet. Let your breathing slow. Imagine you are floating toward them. No spacecraft, no hurry, just a slow, soft drift through black velvet. The rings grow wider. The light grows softer, and the silence grows deep. The rings are mostly ice, tiny pieces of ice. Some are the size of dust. Some are the size of a grain of salt. Some are the size of a pebble. A few are as large as a quiet house. They are not packed together. They drift with space between them, like snow falling in slow motion. Forever. Imagine that snowfall, not falling down, just drifting sideways through the dark, lit by a small, distant sun. Breathe slowly. Let your mind drift with the ice. There is nowhere it needs to land. The ice is mostly water. The same water you know, the same water in your glass, the same water in a quiet river, frozen out there for a very long time. When sunlight touches it, the rings shine, a pale, clean shine, like a frozen lake at dawn, like fresh snow under a street lamp, like the rim of a glass turned slowly in candlelight. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw soften. The rings have nothing to do but shine. And tonight, neither do you. From up close, the rings are not one ring. They are many, bands within bands, some wide, some narrow, some bright, some softer. There are gaps between them. Quiet, dark lanes where almost nothing drifts, like the spaces between songs, like the pause between breaths. Imagine looking down at them, stripe upon stripe of pale gold, each one slightly different, each one beautiful in its own way. Breathe in, breathe out. The rings have been arranged like this for longer than you can hold in your mind. They are in no hurry to change. Long ago, astronomers thought Saturn had handles, little arms on each side. Their telescopes were not strong enough to see the rings clearly. So Saturn to them looked like a small lantern with two soft ears. Imagine sitting beside one of those old astronomers, a candle on the desk, a long brass telescope, the night air against the window, the sky full of patient stars. They did not yet know what they were seeing, but they knew it was wonderful. Breathe slowly. There is something gentle in not knowing yet, in simply watching. Later, a sharper telescope was made, and someone saw the truth. Saturn wore a ring, not handles, a great, thin band of light all the way around. Imagine the quiet wonder of that moment, the slow realization, the soft breath caught in the chest. The world had grown a little stranger, a little kinder. Let your mind rest in that feeling, the feeling of seeing something for the first time, of understanding something simple but vast. There is no need to hold onto the thought. Just let it pass through you, like starlight through a window. The rings are wide, astonishingly wide. They stretch farther across than the distance from Earth to the moon, many times over, and yet they are thin, thinner than you would believe. If you shrank Saturn down to the size of a beach ball, the rings would be thinner than a sheet of paper wrapped around it. Let that softness sit in your mind. A wide, wide disk, as delicate as tissue. Breathe slowly. Let your body soften. The universe builds things on scales we cannot quite hold, and that is part of why it is beautiful. Every once in a while, Saturn tilts, and the rings, seen from Earth, seem to vanish. They are so thin that, edge on, they almost disappear. The planet looks naked for a while, bare and round. Then, slowly, slowly, it tilts again, and the rings return, a pale sweep of light, growing wider each year. Imagine waiting for that, watching, season after season, as something thought lost slowly comes back. Let your breath slow. Some beautiful things go quiet for a while, and then return. No one is certain how the rings were made. There are stories. A small moon that wandered too close long ago, pulled apart by Saturn's quiet, patient gravity. Its pieces spread into a ring. Or perhaps a comet, drifting in from the dark, broken into glittering dust. Or perhaps something older still. We do not know, and it is all right not to know. Settle in. Let the mystery rock you gently, like a small boat on a still lake. The rings are there. The story is part of the night. Some of the rings have names. Simple letters, the A ring, the B ring, the C ring. They were named in the order they were discovered, not in the order they sit. So they are a little out of sequence, like an old library where someone added shelves over the years. Each letter is a band of ice, each one a quiet world of its own. Imagine running a fingertip along them, feeling the soft change from one to the next. Breathe in, breathe out. There is no need to remember the names. The rings do not mind. Between the A and B rings is a wide, dark lane, a quiet road through the brightness. It was noticed long ago by a careful astronomer with a patient eye. The lane is not empty. There is still ice there, just less of it. The pieces are more spread out. The light is more shy. Imagine walking that lane, a pale road between two glowing fields of snow. Above you, the small sun. Below you, Saturn, soft and gold. No sound, no footsteps, just the quiet of a great open place. Saturn also has a faint outer ring, the E ring, very, very wide, very, very thin, made of the smallest specks of ice, almost like a mist. It is fed by one of Saturn's small moons, a moon that quietly puffs ice into space from cracks at its south pole. Imagine that, a tiny moon breathing slowly, a soft white plume rising up, becoming part of the ring around its parent world. Breathe slowly with it. In, out. There is a kindness in how it all fits together. That small moon is called Enceladus, a name from old stories. Beneath its bright crust, there is an ocean, salty, dark, and warm, hidden under miles of ice. We cannot see into it. We only know it is there. Imagine an ocean far from any shore, far from any sky, quiet, deep, and still, holding its secrets gently. Let your mind drift down through that ice, slowly, past the bright surface, into the soft blue dark. There is nothing to find, only the calm of a hidden sea. Saturn has many moons, dozens upon dozens. Some are large, some are small, some are odd little shapes, like a potato, like a peanut, like a sponge. A few of them live right inside the rings. They are called shepherd moons. They keep the ice in line. Imagine little quiet sheepdogs drifting along the edges of the rings, nudging the ice ever so softly back into place. Breathe in slowly. There is something soothing in that. The idea that even the rings of a giant planet are looked after, tended, held. One of those small moons is called Pan. It sits in a gap in the rings. It looks like a tiny flying saucer, a round body with a soft ridge around its middle. The ridge is made of ring material, gathered slowly over time. Imagine a small stone in a stream collecting moss, a quiet shape slowly becoming itself. Pan does not hurry. It simply orbits. It simply gathers. Let your thoughts soften with it. There is no rush in this corner of the universe. There is only slow, patient becoming. There is another little moon called Daphnis. It tugs at the ring as it passes. It makes small waves, soft, sloping waves of ice, tiny mountains rising and falling, then settling again. Imagine watching a hand slide across smooth water, the ripples that follow, the way they soften and disappear. Saturn's rings have ripples like that, made by the slow passing of quiet moons. Breathe in, breathe out. Let your own imagine standing on a piece of the rings. Not really, just in your mind. Below you, a chunk of ice, pale, rough, glittering. Around you, more pieces drifting, some near, some far. Above, the great curve of Saturn, filling half the sky, gold and cream and pale brown, with soft cloud bands slow as honey. There is no wind, no sound, just slow, gentle motion, like sitting in a snow globe that has stopped being shaken. Let yourself rest in that image. There is nothing to do here, only to be. The pieces of the rings move quickly, in truth. They circle Saturn fast, faster than any train, faster than any plane, but they are spread so wide, and the spaces are so vast, that to your eyes they would seem still, like clouds very high up, moving but slowly, always moving. Breathe slowly. Let your thoughts move like that, going somewhere, but gently, not in a hurry, not in a rush, just drifting, with nowhere they must arrive. Sometimes in the rings, small clumps form, pieces of ice gather. They almost become tiny moons. Almost, but not quite. They form and then they break apart again, pulled gently into pieces by Saturn's quiet hands. Imagine sandcastles at the edge of the sea, built and softened and built again. The rings are like that, always making, always unmaking, always becoming. Let your breathing match it. Inhale, build, exhale, soften. There is no failure in becoming and unbecoming. It is only the way of things. Saturn itself is enormous, many times wider than Earth, made mostly of gas. Soft outer clouds, deeper layers of pressing weight, and far below, perhaps a small, hot core. You could not stand on Saturn. There is no ground to stand on. It is more like a great, slow storm than a place. A storm wrapped in rings of light. Imagine that, a creature of weather with jewelry of ice. Settle in. There is no need to picture it perfectly. The shape of the idea is enough. Saturn's clouds are soft bands of color. Cream, pale yellow, warm tan, hints of brown. They move in long, slow streams, east and west, never crossing, like quiet rivers in the sky. From high above, they look painted, as if a calm hand drew them with a wide brush. Breathe slowly. Let your eyes soften. The bands of Saturn do not crash. They do not argue. They flow alongside each other, endlessly patient. There is something in that we can borrow tonight. At Saturn's North Pole, there is a strange shape, a hexagon, 6 straight sides, a storm in the form of a perfect figure. It has been there as long as we have looked, spinning quietly, slow and exact. No one drew it. The weather simply made it, from swirling, patient air. Imagine that, order arising from softness, a neat shape born of a slow dance. Let your mind rest on it. There is no need to understand. Just notice the quiet symmetry. Just notice the calm. At the center of that hexagon is the eye of the storm. A deep, slow swirl, quiet and dark. From far enough away, it looks like a soft, blue rose. Imagine drifting above it, looking down, petals of cloud unfolding in slow motion, air moving in patient circles. No No sound reaches you. No wind brushes your skin. Only the sight, only the calm. Breathe in slowly. Breathe out slowly. Let the eye of Saturn quiet your mind just for a moment. Settle in. Let your shoulders drop. Let your hands rest. Let the bed hold you. We are drifting now, far above Saturn. The rings spread below us in soft bands. The clouds turn slowly. The little moons keep their quiet paths. There is nothing for you to fix, nothing for you to remember, nothing for you to plan. Just drift, just listen, just breathe. The rings have been turning for a very, very long time. They will keep turning while you rest. Long ago, a small spacecraft was sent to Saturn, a quiet traveler from Earth. It took years to arrive, many years drifting through the dark, past planets, past asteroids, past long stretches of nothing. Imagine that long, patient journey. A single small machine carrying our curiosity, held by the gentle pull of distant suns. No company, no hurry, only the slow road. Breathe slowly. There is a soft kind of bravery in something that travels for so long just to look. When the spacecraft arrived, it settled into orbit. Around and around Saturn, for many years, it looked, it listened, it watched the rings, it flew close to the moons, it sent its quiet pictures home. Imagine each photograph arriving, a soft flicker on a screen far away on Earth, a small group of people holding their breath, then smiling very gently. Breathe in, breathe out. Wonder travels at the speed of light, but it always seems to take its time. One day, the spacecraft sent home a picture that broke many hearts gently. A photograph from beyond Saturn looking back. There, in the great dark, was a tiny pale dot. A single soft point of light. That dot was Earth. Everyone you have loved, every place you have walked, held in a single faint sparkle. Imagine that, a whole world made small by distance, yet still bright, still here, still home. Breathe slowly. Let your heart be quiet. The view from far away is gentle. The same spacecraft also flew through gaps in the rings, carefully, quietly, threading the needle of ice and dust. The engineers, far away, held their breath. The spacecraft slipped through, again and again. Each pass was a small miracle. Each pass was a quiet trust. Imagine that. A small machine drifting between sheets of ancient snow, sending its soft signal home. Settle in. There is something in the night sky that has always been kind enough to let us look. In the end, the spacecraft grew old. Its fuel ran low, and those who cared for it made a quiet choice to let it fall into Saturn, to become part of the planet it had watched for so long. Imagine that descent. A long, slow dive through the soft cream clouds. A final, gentle goodbye. The spacecraft did not crash. It dissolved. It became part of the weather. Breathe slowly. Some endings are very soft. Some endings are simply a different way of staying. The rings of Saturn have a sound. Not really. There is no air there for sound to travel. But the spacecraft picked up the murmurs of particles, the soft tap of ice against its body, the hum of charged dust. Engineers on Earth turned those signals into noise we could hear. Crackles, whispers, a gentle alien static. Imagine listening to that, like wind through tall grass very far away, like static from an old radio late at night. Let it become a soft lullaby in your mind. The rings quietly speaking. Tiny bits of dust fall from the rings into Saturn. Slowly, constantly, a gentle, endless rain, not rain like ours, rain made of ice and charged grains, falling from the great disk above, into the soft top of the clouds. Imagine watching that, a delicate sparkle drifting down, so slow it seems still, so fine it seems like a dream. Breathe in slowly, breathe out slowly. Even Saturn's giant sky has its quiet rain, and it falls without any sound at all. Because of this gentle rain, the rings may not last forever. Slowly, very slowly, they are falling away, drifting bit by bit into Saturn itself, returning to the planet. In many, many millions of years, the rings may be gone, but not soon. Not in any time you need to worry about. Tonight, they are still there. Tonight, they still shine. Let that be enough. Settle in. The rings are still turning, still glittering, still Other planets have rings too. Did you know? Jupiter has rings, faint, thin ones. Uranus has rings, dark and narrow. Neptune has rings, soft and lumpy. They are quiet rings, hard to see. None are quite as bright as Saturn's. Saturn is the one that shows us, the one that wears its rings openly, like a soft, golden scarf. Imagine each of those planets, each in their own corner of the dark, each wearing their own quiet decoration. Breathe slowly. Even shy beauty is still beauty. Saturn is far from the sun, very far. The sunlight there is dim by our standards, like a winter morning that has not quite begun. The shadows are long. The light is soft. The colors are muted. There is no harsh glare, only gentle gold. Imagine standing in that light, cool, pale, honey thin, the kind of light you might find at the edge of dawn. Settle in. Let your eyes feel it. The rings glow softly in such a small, patient sun. On Saturn, a year is long, almost 30 Earth years. Imagine that. If you were born on Saturn, you would still be in your first year now. Your whole life so far, one slow lap around the sun. The rings, too, lean differently as the year passes, sometimes wide open, sometimes thin, sometimes lit on the north, sometimes on the south. A long, slow season, Breathe in slowly. There are calendars in the universe that move at the pace of patience. A day on Saturn, though, is short, only about 10.5 hours long. The planet spins quickly, so quickly that it bulges a little around its middle. It is not a perfect sphere. It is a soft, squashed shape, like a ball someone has gently squeezed. Imagine that, a whole world spinning fast enough to change its own shape, yet still so calm to look at from the outside. There is a lesson there, perhaps, but there is no need to find it tonight. Just let it pass through you, like a quiet wind. Saturn's rings tilt. Right now, they tilt about the same amount as Earth's seasons. So Saturn has seasons too. A long, slow summer in the north, then a long, slow winter, decades each. The rings cast shadows on the planet, thin, dark lines, stretching across the cloud bands, moving as the years pass. Imagine watching those shadows, hours of them, days of them, a slow, drifting clock, drawn by the rings themselves. Breathe in slowly, breathe out slowly. Even shadows here are patient. Saturn has a moon called Titan, the largest of all, bigger than the planet Mercury. Wrapped in thick golden haze, you cannot see Titan's surface from above, only its soft orange glow, like a street lamp in fog, like a lantern wrapped in silk. Imagine drifting beside it, the glow on your face, the quiet around you. Beneath that haze are seas, real seas, not of water, of liquid methane and ethane, cold, smooth, still, settle in. Titan is its own kind of strange, its own kind of beautiful. On Titan it rains, but not water. The rain is methane. It falls slowly through the thick air, big, soft drops, drifting down almost lazy. They puddle into lakes. They carve gentle riverbeds. There are shorelines on Titan, quiet ones, with no one to walk them. Imagine that beach, smooth, dark liquid lapping at pale ground, a muted orange sky, a soft, slow breeze. Breathe in, breathe out. Somewhere out there it is raining, slowly, on a world that has never met you, and yet somehow knows how to rest. A small probe once landed on Titan. It drifted down by parachute. Through the thick, golden mist, it saw rounded stones, smooth like pebbles in a riverbed. It sent its quiet pictures home. Then it grew cold. Then it grew quiet. It is still there on that distant shore, resting in the soft, dim light. Imagine it sleeping there, a small, patient guest on a quiet beach, far from anyone who remembers it. Breathe slowly. Even small machines have their gentle rests. From Titan, the view of Saturn would be soft, hidden mostly by the orange haze. But every now and then, on a clear high spot, the planet might peek through. A great pale shape behind the gold, rings barely visible, like a dream half remembered. Imagine that, looking up from a quiet shore, seeing your enormous neighbor partly veiled, knowing it is there even when you cannot quite see it. Settle in. Some of the most comforting things are the ones we feel more than see. Another of Saturn's moons is Ipettus, a strange one, half bright, half dark, as if someone had painted one side white and the other side a deep, dusty brown. It has a tall, curious ridge along its middle, a wall of rock like the seam of a baseball. No one is sure how it got there. Imagine that small moon, two-toned, quiet, spinning slowly, carrying its mystery without complaint. Breathe in, breathe out. The universe is full of small puzzles that do not need solving tonight. Another moon is Mimas, small, pale, round, with one enormous crater. The crater is so wide it makes Mimas look like a familiar face, a small space station from an old story. Imagine that, a moon that wears a single great mark, a reminder of one slow, ancient bump. It did not break, it simply kept going. Now it drifts in quiet circles, carrying its old scar gently. Let your breathing slow. We all carry something, and we all keep going. And we are all, in some way, still beautiful. Another small moon is Hyperion, soft and porous, like a wet sponge frozen in time, pitted all over with deep, dark holes. It does not even spin neatly. It tumbles, slowly, always changing the way it faces the sun. Imagine that, a moon that turns this way and that without a fixed rhythm, almost playful in a quiet way. Breathe slowly. Not everything in the sky moves in straight, predictable lines. Some things wander, and that, too, is all right. Saturn is not alone in the dark. It shares its corner of the sky with many small companions. Moons, ringlets, drifts of dust. A whole little kingdom. Quiet, complex, gentle. From far away, you only see the bright planet and its rings. But up close, it is a soft, busy world, like a city seen from an airplane at night. So many lights, so many lives. Imagine that. Saturn surrounded by its quiet family. Settle in. You are part of a quiet family too. Tonight, all of you are resting. Saturn is mostly hydrogen and helium, the same gases that fill a sun, but not enough to burn, not enough to shine on its own. Saturn is, in a quiet way, almost a sun that never quite became. Imagine that, a great gentle ball of gas, holding light from a distant star instead of making its own, choosing, in a sense, a softer life. Breathe slowly. Let your shoulders soften. Not every great thing has to burn. Some greatness is in being gentle. Some greatness is in carrying light, not making it. Deep inside Saturn, the pressure grows. Hydrogen there acts strangely. It behaves almost like a liquid metal, conducting electric currents, stirring slowly, generating Saturn's gentle magnetic field. Imagine that, a great hidden ocean of strange, shining metal, far beneath the soft clouds, quietly turning, quietly humming. You do not need to picture it clearly, just feel it. A slow, calm force, holding the planet together, holding the rings in place, holding us too in some quiet way. Through wonder alone, Saturn has auroras, like Earth's, but at its poles. Soft curtains of light, sometimes pale blue, sometimes a gentle pink. They glow above the planet's cap, drifting, folding, fatting. The solar wind whispers against Saturn's magnetic field, and the sky answers with light. Imagine standing somewhere above the pole, looking down through the gold, watching that soft glow ripple in the dark. Breathe slowly. The universe is full of quiet lights, and each of them, in their own way, is for resting beneath. Halfway through our drift now, let your shoulders sink a little more. Let your jaw loosen. Let your breath grow long and easy. Saturn's rings have been turning the whole time. The ice has been drifting. The moons have been keeping their slow paths, and nothing has needed anything of you. There is nothing on Saturn waiting to be answered. Nothing on Titan asking you to choose. Nothing in the rings keeping score. There is only the soft turning, only the quiet light, only the slow, patient sky. Drift on. There are spokes in the rings, strange dark stripes. They appear sometimes like spokes on a wheel. They drift across the bright ring for a while, then they fade. No one was sure at first what they were. Tiny ice particles lifted up, held by gentle electric fields, like dust on an old television screen. Imagine them, soft shadows blooming across a bright disk, slowly disappearing again. Breathe in, breathe out. The rings have moods. They have their quiet, fleeting expressions, like a face you love, like a sky you love, like a sea. Sometimes tall waves of ice rise at the edge of a ring. Tiny mountains, briefly, pulled up by a passing moon, then settling back into the great flat plain. Imagine standing on a small piece of ice as one of these waves passes. You would rise slowly, as if a long swell were lifting a small boat, then settle, then rise again. Soft, slow ocean of ice, with no shore, with no end. Let your body imagine that gentle rising. Let it be like the rise of your own slow breath. Saturn's gravity is gentle compared to Jupiter's. If you somehow stood on its clouds, the pull would feel almost familiar, almost like Earth. A little less, even, imagine that. A planet so much bigger than your own, and yet, on its surface, you would feel almost at home. Light, floating almost, settle in. Let yourself feel that lightness now, as if the bed beneath you were a soft cloud band, as if your body weighed only a little, as if there were nothing to hold up, only soft, even ground. Saturn's winds are fast, faster than any hurricane on Earth. They blow along the equator in long, smooth streams, but there is no one to feel them, no coastlines to roar against, no trees to bend. They simply move, quietly, in their own way, vast but uncomplaining. Imagine that wind, strong enough to lift mountains, yet with nothing in its path, only its own slow song. Breathe in slowly. There is something restful in motion that bothers no one, something restful in power that is gentle. Sometimes a great white storm rises on Saturn, a vast, soft blossom of cloud. It can wrap halfway around the planet. It might last for months or a year, then fade. Imagine that, a bright white shape slowly unfurling across the gold, like a flower blooming in slow motion, then slowly closing again. Breathe slowly. The weather of Saturn is its own slow art, painted again and again. No one to see most of it, and yet still beautiful, still gentle, still happening. Imagine the rings at sunset. From a small spot just above the cloud tops, the distant sun low against the horizon, its light catching the inner edge of the rings, setting them aglow. A long curving line of light arching across the sky, brighter than any rainbow, quieter than any music. Imagine looking up at that. Breathe slowly. Let your eyes soften behind their lids. There are skis in this universe so beautiful and so far away that we can only visit them in our minds. And that is enough. Now imagine the rings at night, the sun behind Saturn, the planet a great dark shape, and yet the rings still glow, lit by sunlight bouncing off Saturn's clouds, a soft secondary shine. The rings become a pale arch in the darkness, quiet, cool, like moonlight on water. Imagine drifting beneath that arch, the dim curve above you, the faint stars beyond, the deep, soft silence. Breathe in, breathe out. The night here is kinder than you would think. It is never quite fully dark. Saturn's rings have a faint smell in some sense. We cannot smell them. There is no air. But if you brought a chunk of ring ice into your spaceship and let it warm up, it would release a faint mix of water vapor and perhaps the smell of clean snow, like the air right after a winter storm, like the inside of an old freezer left open. Imagine that, the rings smelling of fresh quiet. Breathe slowly. Let that imagined cold sweetness drift across your mind. There is comfort in the smell of snow. Saturn's color is partly due to ammonia clouds, thin layers of pale crystal, sitting high in its sky. They give the planet its soft cream tone. Beneath them, hidden, are other clouds, layered like quilts, each with its own quiet color. We rarely see them. Saturn keeps its inner layers gently hidden. Imagine that, a planet of soft quilts, stacked one upon the other, holding warmth deep inside. Breathe in, breathe out. Tonight, you have your own soft quilts, stacked just above you, holding you in. The moon Tethys has a long crack across its surface, a great valley wider than most countries on Earth. It is called Ithaca Chasma. a name that already sounds like a journey. Imagine standing at the edge of that valley, pale ice walls falling away on either side, soft sunlight slipping in, no wind, no sound, just the slow ache of vast geology going about its quiet business. Breathe in slowly. Let your imagined gaze travel along that valley. There is no end you must reach, only a long, quiet stretch of looking. The moon Rhea is small, but it may have its own tiny ring, a faint dust ring of its own, just a thin, dim line around a thin, dim moon. We are not entirely sure. It may have been there. It may not. Imagine that. A small moon secretly, perhaps wearing its own quiet ring. A soft echo of Saturn's grand one. Breathe slowly. Sometimes the universe wears its grandest things plainly. Sometimes it wears small, almost invisible ones. Both are gentle in their own ways. There are little moons called moonlets, so small they almost vanish. They drift inside the rings. They make small, soft propeller shapes in the ice around them. As they move, they push the particles aside, then let them fall back. Imagine a slow finger drawn through powdered sugar, the tiny trail behind it, sweet, smooth, simple. The rings are full of those small drawings, patterns from quiet little moons. Breathe in, breathe out. The universe leaves quiet doodles for itself, even when no one is looking. The total mass of the rings is not very much, despite how wide they look. If you could gather all the ice and squeeze it together, it would form one small moon, maybe a little bigger than Mimas, maybe a little smaller. So much beauty, so little material, mostly empty space, mostly soft drift. Imagine that, the rings looking like a great solid bracelet, but actually thin enough, light enough to be a single small moon spread out. Settle in. So much of beauty is in the spread of it, in the patient distance between small things. Astronomers sometimes use the rings as a clock. Tiny moons inside them tug. They cause ripples in the ice. The shape of those ripples tells us how Saturn's deep interior is moving. The rings, in a way, become a microphone, listening down into the planet. Imagine that, a bracelet of ice that hears its own world's heartbeat and then quietly shares it with us. Breathe slowly. There is something tender in that. The cosmos, willing to whisper its inner workings if we listen patiently. On a quiet night here on Earth, you can see Saturn with your own eyes. It looks like a soft, steady star, not flickering, slightly golden. You cannot see the rings without a telescope, but you can see the planet. You can know it is there. Imagine looking up someday and finding it, a small, calm light, so far away, and yet somehow here too, held in your sight. Breathe in, breathe out. The sky always has at least one quiet friend waiting to be noticed. In some old stories, Saturn was named for a god of time. a slow, ancient figure, bearded, patient, watching over harvests, watching over endings. People once thought Saturn moved slowly through the sky because it was old. They were not wrong about the slowness. It does take its time. Imagine that. A planet imagined as a quiet old keeper, drifting through the constellations. In no rush ever, settle in. Tonight, let Saturn be that quiet keeper for you, holding the night, holding the hours. Imagine you are a tiny piece of ice inside the rings, about the size of a grain of rice. You have no weight in the way you usually feel weight. You drift. The other ice drifts too. Sometimes one bumps into you, softly, so softly, then floats on. The sun is small and pale. Saturn is huge and gold. Time here is long, slow, steady. There is nothing to do. There is nothing to fix. There is only drifting. Breathe in, breathe out. Be a tiny piece of ice just for a while. Now imagine the slow turn. The whole ring you are part of turns around Saturn. You go with it. You do not feel the speed. There is no wind, no rumble, just the slow change of view. Saturn slides slowly past beneath you. Stars move slowly above. Hours pass. You go on drifting. There is no need to choose a direction. The direction is already kindly chosen. Settle in. Let your body rest in this drift. Let your bed be the soft, steady curve of an orbit, carrying you slowly, without effort. Far off, you see another piece of ice, a bigger one, the size of a small boulder. It catches the light beautifully. Its edges glow. It drifts in its own quiet path. For a moment, you are near each other. Then, slowly, it falls behind. You move on. There was no greeting. There was no goodbye. There was only a shared, soft moment in a vast, quiet field of light. Breathe slowly. Some things in life are like that too, briefly close, then gently apart, and still somehow kind. Let yourself zoom out now. The piece of ice you were is gone. You are above the rings again, looking down. The pattern of bands stretches out before you. Saturn glows beneath. Stars stretch above. Settle in. There is no need to follow any single piece. There is no need to follow any single thought. Let the patterns move. Let the planet glow. Let the night sky cradle the scene. There is plenty of time. There is plenty of space. There is plenty of quiet, just enough to rest in. Time near Saturn has different rhythms. The clouds turn one way. The rings turn another. The moons turn at their own paces. The hexagon at the North Pole keeps its own slow beat. So many rhythms, yet none of them clash. They simply share the sky. Imagine that, a great quiet orchestra, each part playing its own slow tempo. No conductor needed. The music makes itself. Breathe slowly. There is room here for all of it. There is room here for you, breathing along in your own gentle time. Imagine the rings, frozen in a single still moment. Time paused, every grain of ice held in place, every shadow steady, every star still. You could walk among them slowly, without falling, without disturbing anything, just looking. The way you might walk through a quiet museum at night, the exhibits softly lit, your footsteps gentle on the floor. Imagine that calm. Time has stopped just for you, just for a moment. Breathe slowly. There is nothing waiting. There is nothing to hurry past. There is only this still, vast room. Let the rings slowly start again. Soft motion returns. The ice begins its drift. The clouds resume their patient flow. The moons take up their orbits again, without rush, as if the whole scene was simply waiting for you to be ready. Imagine that gentleness, the universe willing to pause when you needed quiet, then continuing just as kindly. Breathe in, breathe out. The night sky is patient with you, always. There is never any pressure to keep up. There is never any race to win. There is a region called the Roch limit, a soft, invisible line around Saturn. Inside that line, large moons are pulled apart. Outside it, they can stay whole. Most of the bright rings sit inside this line. The pieces in them can never gather into a single moon. They are always being kept gently apart. Imagine that. A boundary drawn by patience itself. A place where pieces are allowed to remain pieces, without ever having to come together, without ever having to break. Breathe slowly. Some quiet things are allowed to stay as they are. Outside that boundary, things are different. Pieces can gather. Small moons can hold themselves together. They lead their own quiet lives. Some catch comets. Some make small craters on each other. Some collect dust from the E-ring. Their faces grow softer, paler, year by year. Imagine that. Worlds being gently powdered by passing snow. Becoming, very slowly, a little more like each other. Breathe in. Breathe out. There is something soft about how everything in this corner of the sky touches everything else. Slowly, kindly, without alarm. Saturn's rings reflect a great deal of sunlight. They are bright. They are clean. In some ways, almost too clean. They look young, as if they have not had time to gather much dust. Some scientists wonder if the rings are younger than the planet, much younger, perhaps formed long after Saturn itself. Imagine that, a quiet, old world, wearing a relatively new piece of jewelry, made from the breaking of some long-ago wanderer. Breathe slowly. Even very old things can wear something new and still be themselves, still be calm. Other scientists believe the rings are very old as the planet itself, possibly older than the dinosaurs, possibly older than the oceans of Earth. The truth is not yet known, and it does not have to be. Tonight, we let it be uncertain. Tonight, we let both stories be possible, old or new, or somewhere in between. The rings exist. The rings are gentle. The rings are enough. Breathe in, breathe out. Some questions in this universe are still wide open, and that is its own kind of peace. The rings glow softly even in radio light, even in heat, even in colors our eyes cannot see. Telescopes that listen instead of look show us the rings as soft patterns. Different bands shine differently in different kinds of light. A whole hidden portrait. Imagine that. The rings, painted again and again, in colors only special eyes can see. Each painting a little different. Each one true. Breathe slowly. There are more layers to the world than what your eyes catch tonight. And the unseen layers, too, are gentle. When a star passes behind the rings, its light flickers. Telescopes watch carefully. The pattern of flickers tells them how thick the rings are at each spot, how many pieces of ice are in the way. The rings become a kind of soft, slow code, a quiet Morse written by ancient ice. Imagine that. Far light dimmed and brightened gently, becoming knowledge on the other side of a long telescope. Breathe slowly. There is wonder in how patient we have learned to be, in how softly we have learned to listen. Imagine for a moment sitting on Earth long ago, before anyone knew the rings were rings. Saturn was just a slow, golden light in the sky, calm, mysterious. People would have watched it from rooftops, from fields, from the sea. They would not have known about ice, about spokes, about hexagons. They would only have known that it was beautiful. Breathe slowly. Maybe that is the most ancient kind of knowing. The knowing that something is beautiful without needing to explain why. Tonight, let yourself know in that way. Sometimes the rings cast a soft glow back at Saturn, a faint reflected light. On the planet's night side, where the sun cannot reach, it is dim, but it is real. The rings, in their quiet way, become a soft lamp for the dark side of their own world. Imagine that, a planet lit gently from above by its own jewelry. The darkness eased just a little by the calm shine of patient ice. Breathe slowly. Sometimes the things around us light us too, just by being themselves, just by being near. Saturn has a long, soft tail, stretching away from the sun, a trail of charged particles, caught by its magnetic field. We cannot see it with our eyes, but it is there, drifting out into the dark, a gentle wake behind a slow, large boat. Imagine that, a planet moving through invisible currents, trailing soft, glowing threads. Breathe in slowly. There is something quiet in that image, the way every large thing leaves a soft, kind shadow behind it, the way no journey is ever truly without its quiet streamers. Imagine flying very slowly along the outer edge of the rings, the ice growing more spread out beneath you, pieces drifting here and there, like the last snowflakes of a long, gentle storm. Beyond them, only the dark, only the deep black sky, only the distant pale sun. You hover at that quiet boundary between the rings and everything else. Breathe slowly. The edges of beautiful things often have their own kind of stillness. Tonight, you are allowed to rest right at one of them, not crossing, not turning back, just being there. Now imagine flying slowly inward. The ice grows thicker, the rings brighter, the bands more defined. Saturn looms larger, its clouds taking up more of your sky. Soft cream, pale gold, the hexagon hidden far away at the top, the shadows of the rings lying across the planet. Imagine drifting slowly into more and more light. Breathe in, breathe out. There is no hurry. The journey inward, like the journey outward, is patient. The rings welcome you either way. Now imagine pausing, holding your slow drift in one place, above the rings, below the stars, beside the great pale planet. You are nowhere on a map, nowhere on a calendar, nowhere on any list. You are simply here, in the quiet middle of a wondrous place. Breathe slowly. Let your body sink a little deeper into the bed. The image stays around you. The rings keep turning. The clouds keep flowing. You do not have to move. You do not have to think. You are already where the calm is. Far below your imagined hovering, deep inside Saturn, lightning sometimes flickers. Big, slow flashes, brighter than any lightning on Earth. They light up patches of cloud from within for a moment, then fade. Imagine seeing that. A pale glow rising and dimming far down in the gold, like the soft pulse of a lantern wrapped in many silks. No thunder reaches you, no sound at all, only the slow flicker. Breathe slowly. Even the storms here are quieter from far enough away. Saturn turns through space with all its companions, its rings, its moons, its faint outer dust, its great magnetic field, a whole quiet kingdom drifting around the sun. Together, they have made their way for ages. Together, they will go on. None of them are alone. Imagine that. The planet, the rings, the moons, all quietly traveling in the same direction, together. Breathe slowly. Tonight, you are part of that movement too. Earth drifting around the same sun, a little farther in, but going the same long way around. Think for a moment about how many things had to happen for the rings to be there. A small moon or a comet broken just so. Their pieces caught at the right distance. Saturn's gravity gentle enough to hold them. The sun far enough to keep the ice frozen. Everything balanced, everything quiet, like 1,000 soft details, all agreeing without ever meeting. Imagine that. A wonder built out of countless tiny agreements. Breathe slowly. Your own quiet evening is built like that too. So many small things agreeing to give you this rest. On a moonless night, somewhere far from city lights, Saturn rises in the east. It moves slowly across the sky. Hours and hours of soft travel. Then it sets in the west, as if it were going to bed itself. A great golden lantern taking its turn at rest. Imagine waving up at it, not really, just gently in your mind. A small hello from one quiet thing to another. Breathe slowly. The sky is full of friends you have not formally met, and they have all been watching over you in their own way. Let your thoughts grow softer now, like the outer edge of the rings, spread out, spaced apart, drifting. There is no need to gather them. There is no need to sort them. Let them be loose, gentle pieces of ice floating in your dark sky. Some will catch the light, some will not. None of them need anything. Breathe in slowly. Breathe out slowly. The rings of Saturn do not try to be tidy. They simply are. Tonight, your thoughts can be that way too. Quiet, spread, slow. At peace. Imagine yourself growing very light, as if your body were drifting up just slightly, up from the bed, up through the ceiling, gently, up through the roof, into the night, up past the streetlights, past the clouds, up through the cold high air, past the moon, past the planets between, all the way out to Saturn. There you settle, just above its rings. No fear, no effort, only quiet. Breathe in, breathe out. You are very far from all your worries now. You are exactly where the calm wanted to bring you. From up here, Earth is one of the smallest lights. You can find it if you try. A tiny pale dot somewhere among the stars. Steady, quiet. You know what is there. You know what waits there. But for now, that is all right. Earth is going on without your watching, doing the slow, soft work of being a planet, spinning, tilting, carrying you even now. Breathe slowly. Even when you are not looking after your own world, it goes on kindly without you. There is rest in that. The rings stretch out in front of you like a great wide path. You do not have to walk it. You do not have to cross it. You only have to see it. A path made of countless small lights. Soft, slow, gentle, going on and on and on. There is room here for every thought you have ever had. There is room here for every breath you have ever taken. There is room here, too, for you to set tonight's small worries down. Just at the edge, just for a while. Imagine setting them there, one by one. Anything from your day that did not finish itself, any small ache, any small worry, each one a little piece of ice, each one drifting away into the great pale band, becoming tiny, becoming distant, becoming part of the soft turning. They will be all right there. They will be looked after. Breathe in slowly. Breathe out slowly. You do not have to carry them tonight. The rings can hold them for you, just for now, just for the night. Saturn watches over them. Not really. Not in a way that needs anything from you, but it feels like that from up here. A great calm presence, patient, wide, old, the kind of presence that does not judge, the kind of presence that simply allows. Imagine resting near it, the way a small bird rests near a great quiet tree, breathing softly, knowing nothing important is going to happen, breathing slowly, knowing nothing important needs to happen, just being still in the company of something vast. Slowly, very slowly, you begin to drift back, away from Saturn, past the small moons, past Titan's golden haze, out through the dark. The rings shrink behind you. The planet becomes a small, bright lantern again. Earth grows closer, the familiar blue, the soft white clouds, the quiet curve of your own world. You sink down gently, through the air, through the clouds, down to your home, down to your room, down to your bed, down into the warmth you left. Breathe in, breathe out. Feel the bed beneath you, soft, familiar, holding you carefully. Feel the air around you, cool and gentle. Feel your breath, slow, quiet, steady. The rings are still there, far above, still turning, still glittering. They do not need anything from you. They are doing fine. You are doing fine. Breathe in slowly. Breathe out slowly. Let the night gather around you. Let the soft cosmic glow fade gently into your room. Let the warmth of the bed grow more real, and the long distance grow more dreamlike. Somewhere far away, Saturn keeps its slow, patient orbit. Somewhere far away, the rings drift through their long, gentle work. Somewhere far away, small moons sweep their soft paths. None of them need to be remembered. None of them need to be watched. They will keep going, without you, with you. Either way, breathe slowly. There is something so quiet in that, something so kind. The universe doing its work, while you let yourself rest. The night deepens. Your breath is long. Your body is heavy. Your mind is soft. The rings of Saturn turn quietly above. The clouds of Saturn flow quietly across themselves. The moons keep their gentle company. Everything is all right. Everything is all right. Breathe slowly. There is nothing more to learn tonight. There is nothing more to know. There is only the calm, only the dark, only the soft, soft drift towards sleep. Let your thoughts slow. Let your body sink. Let the rings of Saturn turn far above, with no need for your attention. You are held, you are warm, you are safe. Breathe in slowly. Breathe out slowly. The golden lantern of Saturn keeps its quiet watch. The pale ice keeps its quiet drift. The small moons keep their quiet paths. And you keep your quiet breath. Slower, softer, deeper. Drift, drift now, drift.